map it out and control accordingly.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Does anyone else have questions before I start asking a few questions?
Yes. So I had a question on the outreach portion because even though it's not as cool and it's a little lame, I wanted to know, since I'm the head of the outreach thing, um, what the people kind of like won the award for. Were they connecting with like universities? Were they connecting with individuals and holding events?
Yeah, sure. I worked very closely with some of the outreach. I was directly involved with all of them, and it's a lot of work. Sure, it's not as I don't want to say it's not given as much attention when it kind of is. The Suits gives 2 awards, well, technically 3, but for the teams they give 2 awards, one for outreach, one for the product. So it is just as important. As for the specific outreach, that is the team that won the award last year, MSU. She Carrie, she made they weren't very above and beyond. You could do some stuff like this, but what they basically did, the crux of what they did was just different events across their university. They tried to work with departments. They had a lot of effort working with them with their CS departments and other things like that. When they had big events on campus, they would try to get booths and present at those places too. If they had really big initiatives on campus, they try to tie whatever they did to some of those things. What they were doing in the suits outreach there. So it's very, very tied to university events, I'd say.
Oh wow.
So
Should
it's
I?
like joining in to events and making your own, like both
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So should I kind of put up flyers around my campus for suits and just talk to administrators and go to events and host a little table, like a lemonade stand or whatever, and just advertise what we're doing for suits and what our goal is?
Would have been great if we
Either-
had this for family weekend. We could have set up a table.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, we had that last week too, or I guess this weekend, I suppose. But yeah, that's certainly one thing you could do. There's a couple other things that they'd want for outreach, in terms of there's 4 different events, and then there's I don't know. Adam was showing a couple different things that they wanted this year. Some stuff related to their tech, some stuff with I don't know, like Girls Who Code or something. I think they did that last year as well. So some technical specific things, some other space outreach stuff. It can be all over. But if you want to talk to your departments and get a head start on it and give them some what here's some things what we're doing, can you help us advertise it? Yeah, for sure. That's a good idea.
Should I put that in the proposal? That I have already spoken to faculty administrators.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you have.
About suits. Okay.
You could also, one thing that would be helpful for you guys as well, is if you want to do something of that nature, and you want to put it in your proposal, try to get I don't want to say a signature, but
Like
maybe just get an email or something. Just send them an email, get proof of oh yeah, I don't know, Cody and Olivia talked to me about some of the initiatives we want to do that they want to do for suits, blah blah blah. We support it, that kind of thing. And then try to get a PDF of that and add it to your proposal, in your appendices or something.
Right. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know of any I guess nuanced aspects of suits that caught you by surprise, either before the proposal was submitted or during your work on a rover team?
When you mean nuanced aspects of it, could you re-explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean
stuff people don't think about.
Yeah,
to,
something that kind of goes under the general radar. It's when you first went into this, I didn't think of that, or kind of just spawned up, and you were like, "Oh, had I known this was going to happen, I could have been more prepared for this moment."
Say when you do like a big part of what you're doing, you're going to be testing it if you get in um, at Houston. So trying to test your solution in various different environments is pretty big. Adding a ton of features, and let's say you have one that's very bandwidth heavy, or like it needs a lot of space in that, and it won't work if it goes below a certain connection or whatever. That can be quite disruptive. So try to test whatever you build in various different conditions. Have fallbacks. It's like the thing I talked about with redundancy. Definitely try to ensure whatever solution you build has fallbacks and other potential things you can do. Even if it's not like the absolute best case, you still have something you can use and show.
Okay. I have a question from Helen. She typed, "How did your proposal look? How did your team organize it?"
Okay. So we organize it in a very I would say it's pretty standard for a regular proposal, for like a technical proposal, any kind. That was just, we had a page for our members, our faculty advisor, a separate page for like different sections for the proposal. Whatever requirements were there, we'd make each of those sections kind of correlated with those. And then we'd have like a section with like appendices of pictures, diagrams, and then like uh, faculty signatures and some of the other stuff they need. So that's generally the flow. So names, proposal, which is names, the technical section, which is sort of split up into different requirements, different technical requirements, and I'm sure the mission description talks about that a little bit more. The proposal guidelines as well. I think it's broken up into 3 different segments. So like for this year, you'd have your spacer display, then you have your pressurized rover segment, and then some of your interoperability things, and then your appendices and signatures.
Nice. Another question from Timothy. He said, "How cracked was your team? Did you have several members in the team who didn't know how to code up to the level and whatnot?" And he said, "How was that managed?"
How cracked was our team? Okay, well, I mean, you're gonna have cracked people on every team. Like whenever, if you guys get into suits, which it seems like you will, you're gonna see people on different teams who have varying levels of skill. Some people who are evidently carrying their teams, other people who are helping out in other ways. Um, but as far as that goes, yeah, we had some people who are definitely more technically capable, whether it was due to how many years they'd been in school or how much effort and experience they'd put in outside of that. We had a lot of those people who were very competent in that regard. And as for the people who were maybe freshmen, sophomores, including myself, who maybe didn't have as much of that skill, we'd sort of balance it out by maybe giving them different tasks, or maybe even putting them like we put them on teams with people who were stronger in those areas, so they could like shadow, help out, and learn the knowledge needed to help out faster than they would have if they were studying it on their own. So as far as how we managed, I guess to answer that double pronged question, yes, we had members who were definitely far more technically skilled than others, but the way we managed that was by partnering people up who had differences in that skill based on just what they were interested in, and then letting them catch up by learning from their peers.
Okay, so you've had essentially people who were like really good and people who were willing to learn, and eventually everyone kind of caught up to each other, which allowed for the team to be really good at the end.
Yeah, I mean, well, I want to say like everyone caught up, because I mean, there's
Right.
some things that you can't.
That's true.
It's a bit idealistic to assume that, and if I'm giving that across, it's definitely not the case. But it definitely gets them that process started for sure.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
would you say that the less experienced people picked up a lot of stuff?
Oh yeah, if they were motivated to, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Did you create code with the proposal, or did you just kind of have an idea of what the code should do?
No, we did not. We did not code for the proposal. We gave. I mean, the suits is a primarily UI challenge, so they want to see concepts. So we showed what we wanted ours to look like, and then we could figure out what everything we want to. I guess we could figure out how we would get there in the end. Because we didn't want to like pigeonhole ourselves into using a specific type of methodology. I mean, even though you kind of have to do that in the proposal, at least getting that process started of thinking about it. But we didn't want to pigeonhole ourselves into thinking, oh, I wanted it to. I want to use just this tech stack. I want to use this. I want to use Flask specifically, right? It doesn't really make sense.
Right. So it's
So
almost
no
like
code, definitely designs.
Okay, so it's like how
Good to know.
SpaceX made their suits. That's kind of cool. Okay, so I guess piggybacking off of that in a way, would you say that we should kind of think outside of the box right now, be kind of ambitious with our design or the UI design and what it should be capable of? And if we get accepted, we kind of just try to make things work.
I'd say, I mean, you don't want to, like you said, Cody, this is a time you want to let everyone utilize 100% of their brains, come up with cool shit, and then if it doesn't work, you can refine it later. But I'd say do that like in a few, maybe 2-3 weeks. Right now, just let people come up with stuff.
right.
Later on, you can decide specific things. But as far as holding yourself to the designs you put together, you don't even have to do that necessarily. If you think if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. But if you really like the design that you came up with which I know someone was saying they're gonna go crazy. I'm sure it's going to look like fucking spectacular. If you can't hold yourself to that, that's fine. Just if you really like it, do whatever you can, try to make it look like that, but you don't have to stress about it that much.
New people join. Does anyone new have any questions? You can type them in the chat.
Oh. How long was your proposal, page-wise?
That's a good question, Olivia. The proposal guidelines have a specific limit. I think it was like, I want to say 12 pages for the technical portion. And then there's also a limit on the rest of them as well, if I remember correctly. But it was about that. The proposal guidelines should say specifically the page count, though. But if I remember, it was like 12 pages for the specifics, technical section, and then I don't remember for the rest.
Fair. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think there's kind of like an algorithm to getting a proposal done in terms of like a time frame? Like during this few weeks, you do this, then you go into that, then you go into that, and then boom, everything's done.
What do you mean by like an algorithm? Do you mean like?
Yeah, sure, timeline.
Okay. Yes. I mean, yeah, you need some kind of timeline. At least having one, if it's not super specific, then at least having a general idea of how you want to work towards something or like what your timeline should look like is good to have.
Okay, cool. Okay, sorry, someone just had to leave. He messaged me.
No worries.
Could you, I guess, take a little break from suits? Could you like tell like us who you are and your background and stuff?
Yeah, wow. Okay. Wow, I'm getting interviewed now. This is insane.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of advertise as like a guest
Wow.
speaker.
A guest speaker event. Wow. Okay. Yeah, sure. No worries. I'm happy to. Yeah. Oh God, no. Yeah. Well,